Hello everyone, today I'll be modeling the shell of the Baku, the cultural center from Zaha Hadid, and I'll be trying a few techniques and hopefully do something interesting. So this is a very complex form. It's a bit tricky to model in Revit. It's not just a simple loft. It would actually probably be best to use a software that you could use to spline modeling, something like Rhino or Fusion 360 as well. But for this example, I'm gonna go straight into Revit. Try to explore a few of the features of doing this in Revit, because I actually have another video where I show how to start in Fusion 360 and bring it into Revit, and how to pick it up in Revit. I'm gonna try a few features, probably not spend too much time to make sure it's completely accurate, but just show you a few good tricks. So I just started a new conceptual map and brought in an image of the plan view for reference. It's very simple. You can drag any image directly into Revit and then just adjust it. So in order to scale it, you start by drawing a line, in this case 50 meters, and you can then select, use the scale tool. So you click once at the first point, second at the end of the scale bar, and then at the end of the line, and adjust the units to meters maybe. So opening up this image of the control center, you can see that this shape is not just a continuous loft. These cuts on the side that will be very tricky to create. We will have to create some kind of structure that gives it the continuity, but the actual loft will have to be split into parts. So if I open up a plan view and try to decide how we would split in parts, so this first element can be a loft alone, this second one is second loft, but all these would have to be 4 different pieces. You could divide one more area in the bottom because it could just be a flat. Still, there is this one top that goes up that you will have to divide because of all the cuts that it has on the side. You see here in the image there are these long cuts. The way that you would do these lofts then would be with profiles that we have to draw and loft together. And so here in blue we see that we need at least 2, and we'll need a third one there, but we'll have to make these decisions along the way. So what I did next was create a few reference planes where I think I need to draw the profiles or where these cuts will occur. If I open an elevation view, I got also some for the height. You see in this image, you can see the curvature that we need to achieve. I set up reference planes also where I guess it would be the height of the first floor. So if I open another elevation view, I've also added an image here. It's always easier if we name the reference planes, so we can pick them later from the list. After that, if we position another image, trying to guess a little bit of the curvature, we can pick a spline through points and start to draw this spline over the image. To keep the best curvature, I showed you on a video before about continuous curvature. I can add a link below. We want to create the spline minimum point if possible. So if I go back to plan view and we pick this reference plane to draw the spines, this facade here, I can just name it as well, north elevation will do. So right now again we do spline through points. We use set work plane, so we make sure that we're drawing in the reference plane that we just named, and just start drawing how we think this curvature should be. You can have a look at the image. and we can have a look at the curvature that we want to do. So we'll start here in the top. After we have the spline, we can go back and adjust the points as we wish and try to get the curvature that we want. Or we can even drag them after we create the loft. It's all fine. So have a look again at the image and see this bottom curve, and just draw something. Just a little bit again, and again we can always go back and adjust it even after the loft was created. So I think for now this will do. Now we need to go and create main splines that will drive the lofts. Okay, I already have all the main splines, and I didn't worry too much about the accuracy, because for this exercise it will do. So in this image we see where the driving spline should be, and I just did a sixth one. So let's go back to the model. And you'll see that these splines are continuous from one end to the other, because I need the curvature to be continuous. Although to do this in Revit, I'll be forced to split the loft into two parts. So I'm going to do a spline through points again, but I'm going to host it in the main structure spline. And this will help making the final surface look continuous, even though it was made of more than one loft. So I'll repeat the same process to the bottom line. In the end, what I'll need to do is make sure both splines start and end in the same place. I'll simply align the points to this reference plane where I thought the division would occur. So done. Now let's select all the 6 splines and go to divide path, and in the properties we can increase the number of divided points. Then we'll create the profile that will be lofted, but we'll do that in a new family. So if we go to the big R and new family and select metric generic model adaptive, so go to front elevation and we'll drag an image that will aid us in getting the right profile curvature. In this case we want to worry about scale, and we'll just place points on the elevation. For now I'm just placing them where I feel it might work, and we'll worry about adjusting them later. Now select all the points and go to make adaptive, and I can do the tricky part now by selecting points 2 at a time. We will create the structure that will host our profile. So let's use the command WT to Windows Tile, and by selecting the lines and go to the properties, select is reference line and make them all reference lines. So therefore it won't be visible in the project environment, and will also give us other features that we need. So I'm going to create a spline as I think it should be,
and just trace over the image. So go all the way around. And I'm going to select the spline and a point and just isolate. So this way I can see better. I can adjust it to the right place. And I can adjust it to the right place. Now what we'll have to do is make sure that our spline will move when the adaptive points move. So this should happen proportionally as the points move, as the structure splines will move. And we make sure that the curvature will stay as we expect it. To do that, we'll have to take every point that drives the spline and host it on the structure that we're creating. So for instance, placing this point hosted on the adaptive point, and we will give it an offset. We'll create a base to host the point from our spline without moving it away from its location. So what I'm going to keep doing now is just create reference lines, always hosted on other reference lines that are hosted on the placement points. Create the locations where I'll host the points from my spline. And I'll keep doing this for a couple of minutes more. If you want, you can just fast forward or skip ahead. Now, if I press WT for Windows Tile, I'll be able to see that I was actually drawing the spline separate, so to avoid conflicts. And I'm just selecting the profile spline on the right and hiding it on the view on the left. I'll also put these two reference planes just to remember the position of the adaptive points, so I can move them back later. Now the reason that I need to drag the points out is because to create the spline through point in the order that I want it, I need to line them up before I create the spline so Revit understands the order. The next step is to select all points that I hosted on the reference line and that I want to use to create the spline, and just go to spline through points. So if I move everything back to where it was, we can see if there is anything not quite where we want it, we can easily adjust it. Move the reference lines or the points a little bit. Then I isolate the line and make it thicker so we can see better, and I can confirm if it's doing what I wanted. Then we just need to make sure that it will still do what we want it to do when we move the adaptive points. Well, it doesn't look bad, but at the left end the curve still needs to be a bit improved. So you can do that by selecting this point and pick new host, and we can place it on another reference line. So if we check again what happens when we move planes, we can see if we're happy with the result and upload it to the project. Now it's the easier part. We place the adaptive points in the spline nodes. We go to repeat, and we can remove the repeater, and before unselecting we just create form. There you go, not bad. So on the bottom left corner, see that's not right, but because we didn't use a scale, but just by changing the offset we can make it right. I'm going to select the surface now and dissolve it again so we can do it later. And I'll select all the splines from the other side and divide path. I can isolate them to make clear where to place the points. And I'll use the repeat command again and remove repeat and create form. You'll see that the surface is not great, not as smooth as you'd expect. However, the great thing about doing the loft this way is that we can just go back, select the lines and increase the number, and we can create a much smoother surface. Just place the points again and repeat and create form. So much better. Now we can just create the other surface separate, and it doesn't actually look bad. But if we dissolve the surfaces, we can select one and select all with shortcut SA and create form again. And this way is one continuous loft. This technique also allows you to modify the structure of the main splines and modify the overall form later. But yet, the main advantage of using this repeated profile is that you can edit the family and actually modify completely the profile family You can load it back into the project and it will just change the loft without you having to create it again. So making changes this way is quite easy. So we can do a few more changes. And another thing is that you don't have to use only the family. You can mix techniques and use different splines and loft them together in the end. Here I'm just using the profile as the host to make sure I keep the spline in the same place. And then select the reference point. And I'll go to change the host. And select level 1. This way you can modify the points just in one area and do it manually if you want. So I hope you found some useful tips on this video today. Please leave any comments below or any questions you have and I'll answer if I can. So thanks for watching.